Now, the far-right anti-Islamic English Defense League is reportedly planning national rallies at more than 30 locations on Saturday. In turn, anti-fascist groups have called for counter-demonstrations to coincide with those protests. Let's now get more on the tensions with Mohammed Shafiq, Chief Executive of the Ramadhan Foundation. Thanks very much, Mr. Shafiq, for joining us here on RT.
Good afternoon.
Well, as a Muslim, what has been your reaction to the Oxford sex grooming case?
Well, it's been very clear that there are Asian gangs operating in this country who are abusing girls in a very horrific way, and that they don't represent our community. I think it's very clear. And they think that white girls are worthless. They think they can be used and abused in this horrific way. And we must stand up against that. And actually, listening to your previous contributor, that's what I've been doing since 2007. I've been campaigning on this, speaking out against this. And I think that we are finally achieving real success because we're actually seeing more and more criminals being brought to justice, and that's something that we should celebrate.
So do you believe that race and religion should be treated as factors in such crimes?
I'm not sure about the religion. It's got nothing to do with religion at all. But yes, when it comes to the issue of race, there is an element, a contributing factor is that some of these gangs think that white girls are worthless. They think they can use them in this way. And that's the issue for us that we've got to address. And there's been a reluctance on the part of the police and the Crown Prosecution Service and local authorities in this country in dealing with this issue in a strong way because they were fearful of being branded racist. I mean, that's what it was like 2-3 years ago. But actually now we're actually seeing a real sea change in which police and the prosecutors are taking these crimes seriously. So actually the crimes are not going up, but actually conviction rates are going up because more and more historic cases are being brought to court. And again, I think that's a real good thing.
Well, the English Defence League is seeing its support base expand faster than ever before. Does this worry you at all?
Yes, the fascist English Defence League are opportunistic. They ask that we deal with these crimes, but we don't see the same protesters when white people are convicted of child sexual abuse. 80% of child sexual abuse carried out in this country are carried out by white men. Yet we don't see the English Defence League and the British National Party, these fascist groups, marching the streets of this country. But actually, I think the majority of the British people recognise that this is a very small minority of people. They don't represent any particular part of our community. And actually, all people from all parts of our society can be affected by child sexual exploitation.
Well, British society indeed is a very multi-ethnic one. So what can moderate Muslims do to prevent the radicalization of young people within their community?
Well, I think what needs to happen is there needs to be a real concerted effort, is what we saw over the last 7 days after Lee Rigby's brutal and barbaric murder, is a strong reaction from the Muslim community. That is what we give. I spent pretty much all last week doing various media interviews, as did other colleagues from other organisations. And the message goes out very clear that if you're involved in terrorism or extremism, you do not represent Islam, you're not acting in our name, and you bring in shame on the community, and you must be confronted. And we need to see real action from the police and the authorities to deal with this threat. Terrorism affects all communities, whether you're talking about here in Europe or talking about United States across the world. And actually, if you look at the most victims from terrorist attacks have generally been Muslims themselves.
All right, Mohammed Shafiq, Chief Executive of the Ramadhan Foundation, thank you so much for being with us here on RT.
Thank you.